Sup guys, this is my top 10 fairy tale anime moments. This list will only consist of moments from the original fairy tale anime, not the 2016 version because simply I didn't like it. Due to the washed out colors, I felt uninterested. The first half was bright, vibrant, and colorful, whereas the second, bleak, dull, and slathered with vapid colors. The animation for some or even most parts were left to be desired, especially the fight scenes. It wasn't the same fairy tale anime I once remembered. However, there are two aspects that were improved in the 2016 adaptation. The designs of the characters are a lot more identical to the original or manga designs. Second, the openings are exceedingly more dynamic and sharper, thus a more attractive and appealing hook. Well, I deviated long enough. Let's begin. Number 10. Urza's Purgatory Armor. What? Yeah, I know. The debut of this black spiked metallic armor with the spiked mace had this fierceness and badassery adhere to Urza's vigorous appearance and strong words. Too bad is rarely seen again or ever. Literally the only semi-badass moment with this armor, my favorite armor of Urza's, even though it didn't accomplish anything, is my list. Number 9. Hades confronts Makarov. Makarov threatens to cast his fairy law in the count of 3. Subsequently, Hades quickly counters with Grimoire Law, warning Makarov that the result of the two techniques colliding will be an unfavorable demise to both parties. Makarov is shocked by Hades' true identity, the second master of fairy tale, Presh. What the fuck? He becomes stunned by Hades' 10-10 spin. Hades' chain magic is probably one of my favorite magic in the series, dispatching Makarov with ease. Hades was the first antagonist at the time that felt invincible. Fairy Law couldn't be used unless you wanted to reach an unfortunate end. Makarov was insanely outclassed by this man. Magic dances to his will freely, without restrictions. The demon with the devil's heart and the devil's eye. A man who abandoned fairy tale to become the god of the underworld, to seek the essence of magic. Number 8. Juvia's Sacrifice. A powerful and sentimental moment. Juvia looked at Kana with a somber expression, realizing that even though she's a fairy tale member, some might not acknowledge her as a comrade for the reason that she was a recent enemy who attacked their guild. Wanting acceptance as a fairy tale member, Juvia turns herself into water unwillingly to attack Kana. She sacrifices herself to free them from this duel. She'd rather hurt herself than hurt her friends. She's a loyal member of fairy tale, devoted to protect her friends at any cost. Number 7. Nasu goes Dragon Force for the first time. In his unbridled rage and desperation, Nasu impetuously consumed a lacrima which greatly fueled and magnified his magic power, though slowly suffocates due to the lacrima containing multiple elements. But he was able to endure the backfire and access Dragon Force. The enraged and reinvigorated Nasu jumps at the law and releases him from himself. He managed to escape his grave with a determination to protect another and avenge a fallen that died from Friendzone and free the cursed one. Number 6. Gaggios vs Nasu. The Fire Dragon Slayer versus the Iron Dragon Slayer. The first battle between two high-spirited and tough mages who could utilize the lost art of the dragons. This premise was a moment that had been long awaited from everyone. A satisfactory engagement, Black Steel and Salamander appeared to be evenly matched throughout the course of the fight, exchanging physical and magical attacks, equalizing the stage of the fight till Gaijo coats his entire body with his iron scales, retaliating all moves from Nasu while discharging deadlier and heavier strikes. And he looked fucking badass. Once Nasu powered up, he laid his rage onto his ironclad adversary, paying him back for everything he did to Fairy Tail, releasing a barrage of fairy strikes. He declares that this final attack is for Levi, Jet, Joy, Nab, Makarov, Gramps, Urza, and Fairy Tail. Number 5. Misugen. Fanboy moments. Everything he did was captivating. Mundane and simple actions were ramped up to hype. Walking into the guild and knocking almost everyone out, casually raining down Phantom Troop flags to the dirt, eating an apple with his mask on, walking into town. What the fuck? His character is hype. Do you guys remember magic circles? Yeah, good times. He made a lot of magic circles. Number 4. The Oration Saves debut, the most epic introduction to any group of villains in the series. This motley cast of characters emerging from the black smoke stands triumphantly in the faces of the allied forces. The Dark Guild left an indelible impression on me. This moment and their depraved outlook etched in my mind. Thus, they became my favorite organization in Fairy Tail. In spite of their lack of numbers, they swiftly and effortlessly slaughtered the allied forces, even with 2 members on the sideline spectating. More like one, the other was sleeping, who could still use his reflective magic while he's in slumber, cementing the badassery. The allied forces were no match for the paltry number of one faction of the Balam Alliance. Nasu, Gray, Lucy, Leon, Sherry, these irrelevant 3. They were like, I'm going to 1v1 these guys. It's like, one hit, they're down, garbage. The only one who was capable of rivaling a member of the Oration Saves, Urza, who actually posed a threat to Racer, Cobra, Angel, Hawkeye, Midnight, and Brain. Especially when she equipped her flight armor, my second favorite armor, for many reasons. Yum. Despite her valiant effort, adaptable abilities, and sexy appearance, she eventually fell like the others. Team Oration 6. Number 3. Gagio and Nasu vs Laxus. I just came. The dual Dragon Slayers forming a temporary alliance to combat the corrupted S-class mage Laxus. In spite of their rough and bitter relationship, they have flawless coordination and partnership. From charging in simultaneously to forming a dynamic melee sequence to syncing their respective Dragon Slayer magic and promptly using one after another, and finally casting the beautiful combination of Fire Dragon's Roar and Iron Dragon's Roar. Badass. Number 2. Gaggio's apology. Gaggio is confronted by Jet and Joy, who still haven't forgiven Gaggio for his past actions of crucifying them. They want to settle this dilemma with a fight. Jet and Joy begin to attack him in the intervals of their assault. They question why he isn't fighting back, peculiar for a former enemy who smiles in the wake of combat. Laxus arrives and begins to electrocute Gaggio. Jet and Joy raise the question why Gaggio isn't offering up a fight. Levi realizes that Gaggio didn't defend himself because he wanted to be accepted as a fellow member of Fairy Tail and friend. This act of atonement is his apology for hurting them. Laxus gets pissed by the fathers, promptly unleashes a lightning bolt. As Levi was about to get electrocuted, Gaggio shields her. Thereafter, he walks away. Before this moment, he was perceived as a cruel villain who only cares about fighting, being the strongest, and causing destruction. The mentality of a one-dimensional villain. As time went on, he was slowly and gradually escaping that archetype when he joined the guild. But with this redemption, it completely changed everything about his character. Honestly, I didn't care about Gaggio. Yeah, his Iron Dragon Slayer magic was cool, but that's about it. Well, that was just before this redeeming moment. He wants to change for the better. He's sorry. Number 1. The Return of Satan's Soul. As Free tortures Elfman, Mary Jane begins to cry and begs him to stop. Free, being a dick shit cunt, ignores her pleas and continue to punish her little brother. Mary Jane is tormented by the screams, helplessly standing, not being able to stop him, until Free was going to deliver the final technique, death. Mary Jane remembers Lisana's death and, not willing to let another beloved sibling of hers die, with her sheer will, she was able to access her demonic magic that had been suppressed since the death of her sister. Chills every time I watch this. Free has awakened the demon. For the pain and suffering he inflicted upon her little brother, he will incur the wrath of Satan's soul. Let the rape commence. He can run, he can fight, he can even become a demon himself. Regardless, he will still get raped. However, just as Mary Jane is about to deliver the final punch, the memory of Lisana returns. Free shits his pants. She reminisces the time Lisana continued to smile and the time of her death. Despite its meaningless, violence isn't the answer to resolve the pain and suffering that's being spread around the guild. This isn't right. Hurting each other will only result in dividing the guild, their allies, their friends, their fairy tale. They shouldn't fight each other. They smile together and laugh together. That's what her little sister would have wanted. If she could smile at her death's door, then they could be happy with